And here they come, NRG and Leviathan. Two squads with a lot on the line, both making massive roster changes coming into this stage. And now for both of these teams trying to prove that they're not just a middle-of-the-pack team, that their reinventions can bring them to the top.
The group that they're in right now, that Omega group, is wide open to me. You have 100 Thieves who are just kind of at the top by default right now. Their first 2 weeks were so impressive. But you look at the other 5 teams, and it really feels like any of them could beat any of them on paper. I mean, if MIBR kind of get back in the mix, right? And these are 2 teams that I think are genuinely in the conversation of they could make champs. There are 4 slots available. It is still so open.
Yeah, and I think for both the teams, some of it does end up relying on how well that they have these like Mata playing, Mata and Som kind of stepping it up. And that second week, they really put up a performance, and King going kind of crazy. Like, I really wonder if they can bring that kind of performance into this game, because that by itself goes crazy. And then you have 3 of these players kind of performing really well overall. So it kind of goes, you know, if they're going to go head-to-head, who's going to be on top?
Now, these 2 orgs both have very high expectations set for themselves and by their fans. For NRG, after winning the Soup League in the offseason, everyone thought that they were going to be the team to beat in Americas. Didn't quite live up to that. Now their chance to show that they actually can be that squad after making some changes. And for Leviathan, it was them who had the late stage 2 resurgence last year to make it to champions. But in this match today, we have the maps ahead of us. Corrode banned away, so we head to Lotus to start.
So NRG are going to have an opportunity to have seen LEV on Lotus just in the other week, where they played a pretty default look overall. I mean, to the extent that Tex was on the Killjoy even still, not even playing the Vice, like real old technology from LEV on that map.
Technology coming out.
For real.
I think that I'm interested in Haven.
Okay.
Because I think both these teams are really strong on it. But I saw that NRG, I really love their defense side on Haven, and we saw that their attack went crazy. But if LEV watched any of that, they know about the lurks, the Som lurks, the Viper kind of taking space by themselves. And I think that that might be a little bit dangerous, but I mean, again, NRG, they still really, really performed.
Yeah, it's interesting. Both these teams kind of have some taste, some idea of what to prep on their opponent's map choice for these first 2.
They just won in the prior week.
Yeah,
they are trying to hard anti each other there. Let's see what's coming out with the comps. I mean, this is just as meta as it gets from NRG, and then it's going to be basically the mirror, except for the KJ instead of Vice, unless LEV feel like getting the Vice in the mix, which I think is a good idea, personally. I definitely prefer the Vice here at this stage of the meta, but we'll see what they opt to do.
Yeah, super excited to watch Mata on that race. He's always been stellar in that role. As we flip over to the other side, though, do Leviathan change things up whatsoever? Get a little spoiler, and it looks like we're probably sticking to the same, as there's that Killjoy lots again for Tex.
And I will say it's kind of interesting, though, just to go back to the NRG comp for a second, that they don't really have a natural fit. It looks like they throw on the Vice if we go back to them, because they have Brock on it right now, and you would expect him to be on the Fade, but it's Ethan on the Fade. So, you know, not necessarily exactly fitting into the roles on this map. So we'll see if Brock, who's typically an initiator, can perform on the Sentinel.
Yeah, we got some unks in the server ready to play here, and we've got a couple more standing by on the mic. It's Riv and Van Silly for the call.
We are ready to dive into this, dig into this game, if you will, and build a beautiful sandcastle out of it, as they give us possibly 3 maps here. It should be a close one. Both teams kind of on the same trajectory in growth at this point in their stage.
Hopefully it's going to be a 3-mapper for sure, and you've seen it on week 1, the additions coming in from NRG's side. Scuba didn't have the best of days. You're looking on the side of Leviathan. Both Okeanos and also Sato had the slowest of days, but the second week, both teams very clean 2-0s against their opponents. So yes, definitely they are riding a high, and which is why we should see the best here type of series between these 2 teams.
It's now time to get that fast load in with Samsung SSDs as we load up into the match. And it is going to be on to Lotus NRG versus LEV. Let's see what they have here to start things off as we do our bit of a flyover. So a few sheriffs around. Scuba's actually going to buy into that. Just keep it anchored on one of the sites, possibly. Where's he at? No, the team's together on that right side. So we'll see if they actually try to put a big strength and aggression here towards Rubble.
Both teams definitely are looking to bait out utility at the very beginning as the bearers come up. First with a nade coming through, but no C's. So both of them going with Haunts for information at first. The wall is going to slow things down for a bit, but definitely here on the side of the defense, NRG is looking for that fight.
Vice utility at C, they don't really have to worry about too much on the NRG side, so they're very happy to be staying up here towards rubble. And this is going to make LEV sweat a little bit. They're prepared. It looks like they continue to move. They can continue to use that wall a bit, but to no avail, right? They're really not going to get any pressure out of it until they re-clear this position, which we might get out of these two here, but there's no good utility for it yet. So nice job by NRG so far.
But on Leviathan's side, they do. Sato was able to keep his paint shells going into this pistol round in the mid-round. So now they have him pushed up here in this coming towards that C side. They can manipulate the map, but the aggression comes in from NRG.
Quickly pushing forward. Tex is able to answer with that other Sheriff. Scuba cannot, though, as we see those two big buys go head-to-head here on the pistol round. And finally, that rubble re-clear will come through, and it was the patience of LEV waiting for NRG's push to allow this to happen.
That was the power of the insert from Sato on that C side. The idea was already for Leviathan to throw paint shells, to sell that fake, and force the push forward, while the rest of them stayed patient at the beginning. Punished NRG on that push, but Ethan's looking to answer back. Scuba anchoring towards the A site, but it looks like he's going to let the spike go down.
Util starts to come in, but the spike's planted 3-3. They're kind of just parallel amongst each other from that baby door into the site, but it's very low for the side of NRG. It's just Brock now with that ghost, making his way around. One arc rose to try to get the flash away, but Okeanos is going to hit the shot that counts. And Leviathan come away with that pistol round.
And those players that were still alive in the server in the final moments of the pistols were definitely players that were looking really good here in that week number 2. Brock going in a 1 versus 3, but also finding a lot of that success playing as the initiator role. You're looking at NRG's comp. He's playing the Vice here. And this is nothing new. They've been playing this throughout this quote-unquote off-season right after Toronto and testing out this composition. It worked out. They had great results coming through, so giving that responsibility to Brock, but just too much here for him to handle. Leviathan has a very clean pistol towards the end. NRG looking to fight back, and it's easy pickings from Sato with this Outlaw.
I can't really produce the raise nade with the fade, but they still try to. As Mata goes down right away, there's no follow-up there. And neither hit on the C's as Sato gets out alive. We'll see how many times the NRG just kind of tries to do that and keep Sato and the team away from rubble. But it's not about rubble anymore. It's a quick switch across the map, Vans.
It's a good read. Very, very easy pivot. Sato saw a lot here with the Outlaw. The door got opened by Som towards the C side to B, so Leviathan knows it should be weak on that side. NRG looking to play potentially damage or die to spike. And you're looking on the side here of Leviathan.
Yeah.
Not too many people got that many kills in the first and second rounds, so maybe Leviathan would hesitate to send somebody on the hunt. Maybe Sato now with the Spectre or King with the Ghost.
Great clear. The timing they're waiting on this just allows the knowledge that they don't have to make too many moves out of the position that Leviathan has right now. It's just these pistols looking for a few exits, maybe a few more hits here before they go down to the spike. Nice job by Lev to get that second round.
Yep. The last 2 rounds here, Leviathan haven't really been going for this type of C-side control, maximizing orbs on that side, so they will be a little bit more slower to get this showstopper up for Sato as soon as possible. So this will definitely give a chance for NRG to swing things back in their favor. You're looking at it for Leviathan very far away from all of these players in terms of ults. And for NRG's side, already an Odin coming out. Looking at his replay though, you definitely saw Sato going with this pistol only, leaving the Spectre behind so they could still maximize at least what weapons they can bring into their bonus. So Spectre will still be there. It's back in the hands of Sato.
For NRG side, let's see if we can continue to get kind of the simplistic identity change where they're keeping it kind of the base strats and then varying those, right? Take the space, cover it, don't push too far. Play that triangle defense, and it might actually get him in trouble for a second as Tex takes down Mata towards the right side, and they clear rubble here with 3. Now pushing NRG right back to the site.
Great job here by Som to throw the Paranoia and fall back and save this Odin as soon as he was spraying out in the open, and that work came through from King. Really threw them for a loop. King has had an incredible map last week here in their victory on Lotus. Lots of multi-kills, but back into the mid-rounding. You saw the aggression coming out from Leviathan at the very beginning from the C side and towards B. They have full control now to pivot around the map, and NRG has no choice but to turtle back a little bit more. Silver lining, though, is that they still have the Vice util on the C site to get that late information. They'll get baited out by Sato now.
And Sato's seen that utility quite a few times. So know exactly how to get a few of that wall popped, find another one of the vines there. And now it's up to Scuba's bite that just hits the ground. Looks like it is going to be a full hit here from Lev.
30 seconds
High low.
Yeah, they feel patient in their position, but can they hit the shots? Yes, they can. Brock and Scuba come up very big on Brock's extra vines there that come up for the play itself. And now it's going to be Lev trying to scatter around the back of site and get the spike planted under pressure. Ooh, that's a lot of spam. That's a lot of Odin about to come through, but they hold on it for now. As Okeanos comes off that Seize Decay, it's going to be a quick plant towards the back, ducking his head down ever so slightly to get out alive. And now has to get over this gargantuan task of 3 players of NRG. Rolling through, that's just Sam not even caring, making the noise so everybody else can get to a position, but it's Sam that finds the target first. As that defuse is going to come through, yeah, Sam, go ahead, take it.
Definitely felt there was a small miscom from Leviathan on the execution. The idea was actually pretty good. Bait out the wall, wait for as soon as the wall comes down, go for another stop and go. They wasted out the Poison Orb, the Snake Bite, and the Flash, so there's no cooldowns coming through for NRG for the last hit through. But look at that, people blinded coming across. There was a Paranoia that was thrown actually that hit some players, hit some teammates. It allows now NRG to pick up their gun round against the bonus of Leviathan. And it continues on. NRG continues to add this pressure of both the Raze and the Fade on towards this A side. The weakness is really towards B here, as Leviathan at least identified the wall on C first, which is why now Tex is starting to activate a little bit more quickly to try to control this front B side. And that will determine how Leviathan will work around the map at the minute mark.
A little bit more from Scuba right away here towards the C site in the beginning. You can see him hovering from Waterfall to B-Link, now back to B-Link. They're really trying to keep the defensive fluid on the side of NRG right now, and they already start to rotate a little bit towards off of A since they have Mata inserted finally in this position. So maybe the round NRG can start to get in Lev's face a little bit sooner and not just for the retake here.
Potentially waiting for the next cycle of the next Haunt or even Prowler out. But all of Leviathan are grouped up, with the exception of that lurk on middle.
Well, the Paranoia timing, going to be right in their face, but they actually still get Okeanos around to Mata. A beautiful Viper's Bite as well to have cleared the position, but everybody was blind in the instance, as now they start to take tree a little bit. Ethan will be able to fire back quick, but there's that rotation, or lurk coming in from Tex right now that could do some big damage if they don't get the timing.
30 seconds left.
Have to come up with some great anchoring from Som in the back of the A site. Has the Odin to work with. We also have passive holds from Ethan with the Phantom. 20 seconds left. Leviathan has to activate.
Oh, but Tex hadn't come through yet. They have nothing else to worry about, and Ethan has full eyes on the door, just bottlenecking Leviathan as they come in there. And here are the shots now as Scuba does take down that lurk. A little bit scattered here for Lev as NRG are able to slow the round down. So Lev is making these last-minute decisions.
Definitely. Leviathan, at least, though, what's been going well for them is the rubble control towards the A side. Great utility with the Paranoia Haunt to get that ping on Tomato onto that pick. You see the idea, at least on the defense, Som is always playing towards that box, right by the baby door, so they could actually Paranoia and flash back, but they were just missing a little bit more util and support from Mata because of King's Viper Wall up on the A side that brings it up. But man, these guys, looking at the mid-rounding, the off angles that are playing, the passive angles from NRG, Leviathan's running that clock down and definitely not in their favor.
All right, NRG go back for the nade, the seize. It's gonna grab Okeanos on the way in. He goes out. Oh, Sam finds one as well. Not even through the wall there, just a nice shot. Ethan is gonna trade one back here, as it is gonna be just one after the other at Rubble as they look to get this round down with a few orbs on their side.
Sam got so much value out of that Odin on that previous round, but yeah, it is the anti-eco, so they could allow themselves to be much more aggressive on how they're pushing through. Now Leviathan will have to come back into this game. We'll have the buy coming in through round number 6. And remember, with the orb maxing that they haven't been doing in the first few rounds by winning the pistol, the anti-eco. You're moving into this round number 6 where none of them actually even has their ult yet. Thankfully, a lot of them are at least one orb away, so you might get back into the cooking C-side control, trying to take control of Mound. NRG and Ethan might be able to read into that and maybe want to try to counter that side first, but looking at that radar, if it ain't broke, don't fix it for NRG side. 4 players pressure on that end. Some jiggle peeking coming out from the side of Brock up towards that C site. Leviathan looking to activate a little bit more quickly in front of B.
And they just go for the nade that time at Rubble. So they still have good util if it goes for the other sides, other sites for the side of NRG. Okeanos has all talking about a few more pips that could be coming up throughout this round. Let's see how they decide to use it, if they can get a big swing for themselves on the side of LEV. Comms figured out just towards the front of B, and they're actually trying to push and lurk this out a bit. Get Mata online there.
Exactly, the Prowler's perfect here to get Mata into the line. They don't know yet for the side of Leviathan that the op comes through. But enough info has been done by a door opening up that Sato has picked up the showstopper orb. Yet the wall hasn't been baited yet.
Waiting for that fuel to come back up. Just needs that second tick, and they might be able to make a move. They're going to give it a bit more time here to actually just cut audio and let the team get here. So even more fuel to get this work. You just hear the wall go up, and they have that knowledge in tree. Sam can let them know what's going on. Ooh, Nightfall comes down. Sam's going to actually approach that, try to fight it head on. Nobody tempts it just yet, but Mata lights the fuse, and he's going to be able to take one down. Sato on the other side as well with flying rockets across the map of Lotus. And Tex does find his mark, as it looks like LEV finally have that site, but it's 3v3 still.
Still in a great position for Leviathan. With this plant, Calm will have the ult. They punish the op already on that side. Looks like they want to go quick, though. Trying to get that Nightfall towards that spawn. No pings coming through. An opportunity now for Ethan to lurk up. They don't really know that he was rotating from that spawn side yet.
Ethan draws eyes first. Team's able to lurk into the site a little bit, but the turret is still giving away the extra players on NRG that are trying to make their way in. Tex hits another one. Second in the round for him to open up the site, and it looks like LEV is going to be able to lock down a crossfire, but it's being picked apart. It's being picked apart by NRG left and right. Brock with 2 huge shots, and the defuse to come through for NRG.
What a clean retake towards the end for NRG. The Nightfall gave Leviathan so much space. Great information here as it gets no tether towards that top heaven that you would assume the rotate comes back from the staircase side. Tex gets a beautiful kill, gets the lockdown, able to waste the clock even more, but they were not set up for crossfires.
Yeah.
Calm playing inside of that pit. Ooh. You just tuck in a little bit more easily here, and you're just giving 2 individual 2 versus 1s on the side of NRG for that take.
Coach
I'm happy with that, definitely.
Yeah.
Hey, we got our own mind melt there.
Mind melding it. We got it. It didn't take us 8. Just 1 that time. It only took us 8 before the cast when we actually tried. But it's great to see. You see Brock as we look at some of the players that are just coming into the scene, especially from the Tier 2 leagues, and Mata, and as well as Scuba. And same on the other side, right? Okeanos, Satos, Bankar. And that's what they're putting up these plays in the league. They're showing their worth here in spots where they're being called upon in many situations.
That's definitely it. A good call out here for the NRG Leviathan, the players that came up from challengers on that side. So not only as we preface this matchup as 2 teams that are finding their strides since that week 1 loss, but also a lot of these players that have met against each other before. You talked on the side here for Brock or Mata going through the interview saying, yeah, we kind of really know how Bankar sets up here the coaching style within challengers. Nothing really changed going into T1 at the same time, in the Tier 1 rather. And for Leviathan's side, well, Sato and Okeanos already has that experience playing through the M80 rosters and other iterations that they played within challengers against these type of players. So it's a very nice little matchup when it comes down to the head-to-head, and definitely why we're definitely going to see that it's going to be an explosive matchup between these 2 teams. Change of pace though. After this timeout, it's still the soul alert from King on this A side. Ooh. But you're staying so far back from Leviathan's over on C.
Different insert now. Sam is going to be the one up top instead of Mata trying to take that forward position. So they're putting a little more of that firepower move a bit or fluidly in the map as they move around to that left and right of B and C.
You're just kind of seeing these 2 players staying very far back towards that spawn. The reason why is because Leviathan's leveraging here, calm moving forward with Okeanos to take front B control. So you can't haunt on that C mountain to get early fights or information on that side. You got to be mindful of the energy op of where Mata could be posted at, which they haven't found yet going into the mid-round. So now you open that door, you threaten that space. Now it allows for you to scale up here and grab the orb. And another rare miss coming out from Mata. He lost that fight earlier on against Timmy the Turret, but this time can get that pick in front of the B site. But Leviathan can still rotate across and goes for the late push towards A site.
Spins it around, the 180, the move, 7 HP, Sam limps, the wall gets dropped. They said drop it, the comms come through, and so do the kills. That's 2 opening frags for LEV as they keep pressuring and now have an inserted A.
He could still
as
delay.
They go to C.
Scuba still has the snake bite, but he's looking for the timing.
Oh, the hop goes up, draws his attention for a moment to make it indecisive, but he still finds a kill as King on the cross-map frag still comes through as well. And that pressure round is down to 5 seconds to get to the site here. LEV is laced up and running across the map for some of these rounds.
Definitely unlucky on the first death on the side of NRG over on the A site, because Som was trying to retreat at 7 HP.
Yeah.
Leviathan spamming across the wall, and unfortunately, Mata gets caught in the crossfire. Right over here, gets picked off. Som tries to go for the trade, but there's just too many players out in the open on the side of Leviathan and to fully take cover. So I think, if anything, I respect the play from Scuba, trying to swing outside of his own orb to try to do the hero play. He's really good in these anchor rolls, trying to find timings, usually against their opponents, or against his opponents, rather. But there's 4 players from Leviathan running him down. Just couldn't do it.
Still buys are here. Sam with that Odin, so they have money from these rounds as Leviathan starts to poke back. Oh no, ooh, NRG say, okay, now we're gonna force your hand a little bit. As they put the ult at A, LEV is already starting to get into C. Just a little bit more utility to pass themselves through as they wait for that wall to go back down, and the rest of the team is now fully able to enter the site, but it's given energy time.
Brock is already rotated across. Some just killing everyone with Odin.
Oh my god, the spam's coming up onto the screen right now. Holy moly, Sam and Brock coming into position now from that right side as Sam takes the top of the site, and they control it completely. Scuba finally comes around for one of the first lurks we've seen from NRG since they've been on their side of the map, trying to just cut down LEV, so that is a big change from them for that round.
Yeah, King has been definitely a thorn on the side for NRG with how he's been lurking well towards that A side, so you're definitely seeing that for the side of NRG. You're trying to put the photo to, well, nice spray transfer going into that one with the Odin for sure. But looks like you want to match up Scuba against King on those lurk one-on-ones. But the repositioning you already saw from the side of NRG, they were looking to play passive retake on the C side anyways. Brock rotated all the way back towards the waterfall so they could play the Steel Garden for the retake if needed be. Now they get to save it into this round. And Leviathan's the one that has more slightly broken by in round number 9. Only a share protects. Same util coming out for rubble control. But this is just to rotate the map across, force the pushes, and there's the push in the fight towards B main. But NRG is able to fall back.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's actually trying to get towards the top of A right now as Sam is calling for a little bit of pressure towards Tree. Still have this rotation around from Tex, maybe looking for a gun, looking for a fight as Okeanos drops one and then finds the same result. Everything taken here. That's a sticky spot for King right now. Gets the right click, but is still found out in the team trade. And that spike is running for the hills. It's going to be a C plant, but are they going to be able to get past everything at this point? Yes, they will. Walls down. So is Brock. So this plant rather comes through, and you're going to have that, I guess, a lurk by Sato, but this is going to be an aggressive lurk from the Rays.
We'll definitely take the luck. A kill through the smoke and then the punish onto Brock, allowing Leviathan to set up on the pulse plan. Sato's still very far ahead, but has full kit to play the pulse plan in case his teammates fall down.
They get there.
I'm just trying to listen for noise here so they can play Nanos to delay.
Relaying everything across, gets hit by the C's just on his ankle, tries to get the fight through. The Boombot's hit, drawing the attention of his opponent, saves his life. The Boombot saved Tom, and Sato comes up huge from the other side so they can take the win on that round.
Yeah, just great utility coming through. And I was on the side, Wyatt was mentioning on a desk, a very old school style with Tex coming in as a killjoy. Usually has tried a little bit of Vice, has tried some Cypher on the map too, but just the active information that you have from the turret. To get the information if there's aggressive pushes coming through on the side of the defense from NRG, you can try to punish that. But if not, you got a nanos on the delay. It allowed here for Sato to take all of his time from that revolving door on the A site to be able to get the backstab towards the end.
A timeout now from NRG. The rounds they're getting are very well read. They're at the site. We saw the one from the Vice wall where we actually, LEV decided not to have Sato jump the wall and then take it. They were divided. And with that little bit of time, NRG has enough to rotate and get to the site. I think that's what Bonkar kind of wants to instill, is if we have everyone there, the site is ours again. That retake potential is huge for them. They're so clean in the protocols. They just got to wait for the package to get there.
Yeah. If anything, too, for Bonkar's calls now, I think they were still playing a pretty decent Valorant so far in their defensive rounds when it comes down to early round control, map control on that side, getting rubble control, mid-rounding. It's just when it comes down to the chaos, identifying that Leviathan are often going for these 20-second executions to try to hit up a site. Now maybe you want to try to save a little bit more of that util like you did on that pistol run in that second round to not really allow Leviathan to set up. Still noted at the beginning of the round though for Som. Same display on a 4-1 B site open for the taking of NRG, and they're walking down to try to punish the King Wall.
Spike down, C.
Rockets one on the right side there on the C. That's a crunch from that, not crunch, but they get around the wall on both sides. LEV still has an eye on where every position is from that side of NRG's push, and it's the one round they didn't seize, they didn't nade, they tried to creep up, and LEV was ready.
Ball's there.
Oh, cleaned up as he jumps through, didn't expect it to be the two-man fight. And now it's Tex versus Som. That Odin has been so deadly here. And it's not going to hit that time. Tex hits the shoulder of Som to knock the aim off and then finds the forehead to get the round.
Just unlucky because looks like Som had first shot against Tex. But quick on the trigger, and basically we saw nothing but showdowns for that previous round. When that wall came down, it was a 3v3. Everybody's looking up on top. I mean, it became beautiful trades. Down to a 1 versus 1. Both teams had good protocols for these trades. It becomes an aim duel towards the end. Better game sense on the side of Tex, knowing the rotation coming through from Som. We're tied 5-5. Change of tempo, Leviathan finally goes for an activation a lot more quickly towards the C site to get an early showstopper once again for Sato.
In we go. A little short on the hop, but still it's going to create the space that they need here. Playing in a dangerous spot, that line of fire right outside the smoke, but it's going to be enough to stay safe as the team's kind of coming in slow on this Vice util. Another uncle's flying through past Sato.
What a nice paranoia.
Yeah.
The idea of the showstopper was just to get into space to get this pit up. And now you can force rotates across, but the idea was there. The paranoia came across from Okeano so he could TP towards that spawn. They try to crunch out with Sato, trying to go for the hero play up towards that waterfall, but only was able to pick up 1 kill. So now you force that wall down. NRG will know the rotate's going to be happening towards this A site.
Taking the clock down once again here. King is just working the entire map. Com still has so much util to get them all the way through.
He went for a deep prowler, took his time just to make sure he clears towards the breakable door so that Tex can activate once again. Nightfall available too, that would allow for him to get the big backstab.
He hits it. Here's those ticks come out, is able to get the first kill himself here as the team is coming around from the backside. It's Mata and Som, a deadly duo, as they're still waiting for one more. They all three get together now before they even try to go in as that too. And now it's left up to the King. Can he find the crown here on this round? Sees one head, goes for the delay on that spike. And it doesn't look like Ethan's gonna give much of a care until he gets to half here. They both just jump out around the corner. Simple teamwork, simple jumps. The textbook play from NRG will capitalize on the round.
No multi-kill clutch this time around for King, just like you saw last week, but definitely the game plan was there for Leviathan on that post plan. The only unlucky thing for the side of NRG is right here. Som's on a rotate, and Tex is probably like, what the hell are you still doing in spawn, bro? But he was still holding the rotate from the C site before he could meet up with the rest of the team, so unlucky for the side of Leviathan, but a great move for NRG towards the end to regain the lead here for this half. Not the best of buys for Leviathan. Well, forced to stay as a group.
Man,
Up once again for Rubble.
timeouts have meant a lot to both teams in this game so far.
Still one left to work with on the second half.
Yeah. Oh, this play again, but there's actually going to be more heads for the side of LEV. 2 down again. NRG has suffered 2 down at the beginning of the round quite often here on this first half, so to still have 6, they're controlling the rounds, they're winning very much so and keeping the money in their favor, really patching up some of these holes, but also LEV trying to find a way to the site before the round is almost ending. And NRG seems to be snuffing them at the right spots each time. Here, this lurk from Scuba could give the info necessary, but he takes a shot, giving quite a bit of info over to LEV.
And it might seem here for Leviathan, you have to commit towards the A site, because for Calm, he was only jiggle peeking with a knife. He wasn't looking to fight here against the flank, because he only has a stinger to work with. So this will get the players ready for NRG, especially with all of that information from the Nightfall coming out here from Ethan.
You can see 4 tethers. That becomes very scary. You can hide, but you're not really hiding at this point. You see the Prowler super angry as it heads out. And now they continue to peek.
30 seconds
They have
left.
to re-clear behind them this utility they'd want to use from forward. So Scuba really paying off in the end there for making a little bit of noise behind them. Is he going to be able to do it from the side now? As Ethan starts it off, Scuba continues the fire. And now they're going to be able to close down towards B. It's going to be a tough catch though, as the spike should get planted, and this is going to be a
10
post plant.
seconds left.
An opportunity, actually. Leviathan could actually do this. Well, Calm just fell, and it's up to Okeanos.
Wow.
The latest pickup now for Leviathan. As he's looking to walk back towards main. He has a smoke to work with. See some cool smokes being thrown on the side here of earlier on today, if you've been watching towards the MEA, but Okeanos focuses on going for the ADS, isolating different fights.
Still pretty healthy, all things considered. Enough bullets to do anything if you can keep this fight going for a little bit. The flash is going to trigger. They see and they know. It's so hard once they start to work the steps towards that spike. Really tough to tell what angle it's coming from, and Brock is going to utilize just that angle to make sure they get the kill. That's a defuse going in, I believe, for Ethan, so they're trying to get that Nightfall back up. Or Brock. One of them.
Switching sides.
Doesn't matter. It's at the half anyways.
Oh, it is at half, yeah.
That said, though, it's nice that NRG was able to close that out towards the end. Scuba, for the second time, is trying to find a better timing here. I mean, he does get a couple of shots, but the second time that he has a snake bite to work with that he could delay with. Thankfully, though, still a 7-5 half for NRG as they've displayed a pretty decent defensive round on the map of Lotus.
Strong play from both teams. We'll see what second half delivers for us right after the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back to NRG versus Leviathan. NRG sporting 7 rounds on that first defensive side. Now as they head towards attack, it seems like they're going to be pretty happy with that as they try to run for 13 here. If they can grab this pistol, it almost looks promising for them.
Yeah, definitely. And if they do so, we'll trade out pistols for this map of Lotus. That said, though, you're looking at how NRG is currently playing with this interesting composition. I say interesting for them because it's not really the most comfortable roles when you kind of have Brock playing as a Sentinel. You probably expect him to play usually the Fade for this, and Scuba not going for the Sentinel role as he's had that role when he joined the team, but you're definitely seeing that they're playing against Leviathan's lurks up towards this A side for Rubble control and works out for a bit. Back into the pistol, NRG are looking to 4 men up here towards this B site. The wall allows Scuba to cross over towards Rubble, and big responsibility coming in on this side.
Ooh. Fast in, relying a lot on Mata here to create the space. The right click's just wide of King as he finds it. But they still have the sight. The bodies were all they really needed to make the space happen here. And you still have Scuba on the right side. I say that. And he goes down. Sato somehow finds him just coming off a Rubble. And that's one last thing to worry about. King again. Can he protect his tower? He cannot. That's taken actually by both members, 2 members of NRG, which makes it even harder to retake the site. Spam through from Ethan as they get another kill onto the floor there. And this is just a smoke game. They're playing in and out of it, waiting for the sound to happen and just shooting at the footsteps. It's working beautifully as Brock and Sam come up with that pistol round. 8-5 now for NRG.
Almost felt that there was a chance there for Leviathan to retake towards that B site. Tex played it beautifully. You saw from NRG side on the pulse pen, they were looking to push towards that spawn to punish the rotates early. As Scuba got all of that information from the revolving door on the A side that they had so many players from NRG coming through, or Leviathan coming through. So I gotta say, it really pulled them across, but somehow you're playing inside the smokes. You're getting some smoke kills on the side of Som, and everybody just falls down like dominoes for Leviathan's side. Now bonus round for NRG, orb control potentially on this C site. Already the Haunt finds that full information. Expecting a trap play, that's why you're tapping onto that orb.
Yeah, cheeky. See if NRG peeks out, they'd be very, very sad. See Ethan going for that orb a little bit, backing up, topping the scoreboard right now for NRG. From that initiator position. As we see Sam rotating forward towards that right side now. And again, an insert of Scuba. Trying to detect info, but LEV has denied all of it. They are walking right into this trap. NRG is.
Such a good read in terms of players that are there, but no C's, so you can't really trap him coming through. You're hoping the Paranoia nade could do something for you to flood back.
Good luck on the Haunt. They know it's going to happen here. Mata once again, that first person. The Sentry is going to be able to find it with that Phantom. The backup of the pistols and the Stingers is just too much for LEV's no-buy, I should say, on this round as they get through that one. Only a 1 kill, I think, coming in from Tex. So 1 gun rebuy, not too bad for NRG. They're feeling great about the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, and their bonus is actually quite nice too. With that rebuy, you see 4 rifles in a Stinger. I mean, Leviathan, again, they had the perfect read on the A side for that stack. Paranoia nade they don't really push behind it, so you're pushing the players back. You're allowing NRG to just re-enter the site with better weapons. They just close the gap against them. Would prefer a little bit more of an aggressive push to follow behind that utility. Speaking of aggression, it's Mata Satchely on the top, trying to break crosshair placement. Wow, but they continue to farm these orbs, and that's the difference versus Leviathan on their attack side. Now Ethan in the bonus round has a Nightfall to work with because they've been focusing on orb control and maximizing who gets plants, maximizing who's getting kills in these pulse plants as well.
You just raise that percentage of your advantage each time you can go for it, right? You're not using too much util. Still have site take potential. As we see right here, turrets down. Now LEV has to worry a little bit more and reposition somebody just to make sure that's covered, and this is what NRG wants. Re-cleared as well. So getting a little bit of util just out of that turret takedown as Sato now is going to insert to the front to B.
Smart for Ethan to fall back, though. You wanted a player inserted so you could try to sell a fake towards the C side. I don't know if Mata actually threw a nade out towards C, because a little bit of that util towards that C side is now gone. So you keep those players at bay over the C site. Nightfall for info. Does get the hit. Okeano's forced to fall back, and he's solo towards A.
Oh, that Prowler's angry. It's going to find him off the tether. Tree is fully covered. They all actually dodge the Paranoia. He gets one back, and that's going to be actually perfect coming through. Mata takes on Okeanos. The rest of the team is actually slowing this down quite well as Com finds 2. King and Com coming up very big on this to just sweep the rug out from NRG.
And there's no time to plant. It almost felt Okeanos couldn't even play the game as he was hit by so much util after the Nightfall, but yet was still able to delay enough by just staying alive, tucked in towards that back of the site, allowing Leviathan to full rotate across. And Com supports him from the top ropes out towards heaven. Getting a nice little two-piece on his side, and even salvages the Odin left behind from Oki. Leviathan now are winning off time. You're seeing here for NRG, because it was a bonus round, they'll still have a pretty decent buy going into this next round.
Got to get some momentum back here. Another one from LEV would be absolutely huge, especially if they can just get free upgrades on this and not lose too many players. That's the big goal. Just board play once again to get somebody fed, get somebody propped up. You're going to have Mata quite close to take that space if it is going to be one for him to take. Yeah, they actually say come back and take it. Saw it was kind of poked and the thought went through. So now crafting this here to back up once again. They have a little bit more pressure up towards B this time, but still, seems like NRG is only happy once they work the map a little bit and see what util they can get out of Leviathan.
And that's the thing, Mata hasn't really thrown the basic nade into the corner to break cage a util where Tex currently has it. He's just trying to probe, moving forward, see if he can hear the alarm bot. Just play the smoke, play it slow here for the side of NRG, which is contradictory to what he was mentioning before we got into this game. NRG will want to be a little more quicker here on the attack side, but they're definitely working the map with the clock going down at 40 seconds left.
I think they're realizing they saw Okeanos alone once. They see it again here on the buy rounds, and they're going to consider this is something they can work off of and maybe condition LEV too.
Might look like a pincer maneuver towards
Yeah,
the end.
That would work out real well. They could hit Baby Door here with 2 going towards B. That bottleneck again cost the life of one member of NRG, but it still looks like that's going to be open space for the site, and that's exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, pushing Okeanos back, faking from the smoke up towards the staircase, but the 2 players looking up towards B. Too much here for Sato to handle towards Baby Door. A retake even more difficult. 2 players trying to work together. It's Calm and Tex fighting back towards the B main door. Ah, they have position though.
Ooh. Waiting for that timing. Oh, that was a shoulder. I think Tex saw a shoulder. No, he didn't. He turns away. They're actually going to get by just in time. Brock now on the outside. He is found, but Calm's going to have the Odin. Is it enough? Oh, it is. That shot would have went right through, too. Calm finds the kill.
I think he got the dink onto King through Calm's leg, where unfortunately couldn't get the full kill through. That was a nice attempt, but it's tough to try to drive by against an Odin. Leviathan's able to play that retake towards the end, so that pincer maneuver was perfect for NRG, to take over this B site. But Leviathan had their own pincer, opening that door on that B site, smoking and pushing the lurk back here from Brock. Not able to support the team.
What's next? One of our first B looks? Straight off the bat? I mean, NRG did this a little bit on their first round, or second round, where they had Mata jump through in the early part of this second half, but yeah, comfortably getting themselves in, knowing there's a buy on the other side. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Sato just sends it into the site. Mata's gonna say, okay, if that's gonna happen, you guys are taking a quick break. So LEV is not moving anywhere towards this right now. And there, whoa, Tex on the box catches them off guard, but a lot of NRG members are still kind of about the map, and this could make it tough for the full retake.
I have util to stall for the side of NRG, but all individual duels that we're about to see here on that side. Leviathan's wasting a lot of time on the clock, though. They have to activate a little bit more quickly.
Oh. Keanu's forced to peek. Oh, he gets taken down. Brock can't squeeze through the door, though, and this is just going to leave the 2 members in.
No time.
Is it going to be enough for them? You're right, no time. They buy it. NRG is going to be all good on this round, and they get themselves to 10 here.
My ult is ready.
A little bit of antsiness coming out from Leviathan's side to initiate and engage the retake. Sato had a showstopper, but he went right away. I guess he was expecting that players were kind of grouped up so he could throw the rocket on the ground, but that trade allows Mata to get the instant rocket right after. That stalls everything on the side of Leviathan, and they just went off simply time for NRG with the spike going off, so just unfortunate we didn't coordinate that a little bit better rather on the side of Leviathan. Thankfully they have a buy, but it's a glass Odin for Calm. Still trying to use util early, has Nightfall to work with, so maybe that's going to be the saving grace. So if it tags some players here, low HP.
Necessary trade from Okeanos there. Very big from the rookie. 10 HP though, is back to the site. Yeah, it's not even off the gas too, so that's gonna stick as they rotate back over. It's been extremity work the whole time for NRG. They kind of own towards A, they own towards mound and rubble, that space that is.
Yeah.
And now they just go towards whatever they think is gonna be the softer one, partially through the round. Okay, still going. Thought they were going to take a breather there, but Brock takes down 2 almost immediately. And now the Spike's going to be wondering if it's safe to plant in sight as the util goes down. Sam is considering this, yeah.
Not when Scuba's already on that lurk. Here's a rotate across. Here's the Odin ring.
There it is.
Easy kill. NRG now up at 11. With that said, you mentioned, yes, great control on the side of NRG on both extremities for a lot of these rounds on the attack. The only time they really went quick towards B was when you had that ult available from Som, that he TPs into the B site around with the samples here from Mata. The rest of it is just a great job from NRG, just continuing to force these late rotates across, but doing a great job inserting players in the process. And that's a pain point now for Leviathan. They have to kind of second guess how they want to play the defensive side. If you want to turtle up because NRG likes to play a fast tempo while you're giving a lot of map control.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to try to play aggressive like they tried to do on that end, well, NRG is going to just rotate across on the other side, inserting players across and then play the mid round. So lots to be talked about here from the side of Desmo with the rest of the team.
And the amount of kind of take it back to basics for NRG, is Mata was kind of saying about Ethan can bring that strategy that everybody's on board with, and everybody can do that even if it kind of pushes you to your limit. They're having Mata blast pack in and they're following him. That's very early Valorant, and it is working because it's a tried and true tactic where the initiators are behind it, everybody's there, and they're going in with bodies and getting each other's corners and trades, and it's working out for each of these takes.
Exactly. Mata says Ethan likes to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And you're definitely seeing it. Orb control on the side. I mean, if you're looking, as we're about to head back into the timeout, once again, a couple of them are back into 1 or 2 pips of getting their own ultimates on that side. So a lot of those players are already leaning towards the C side for the side of NRG. But for Leviathan, unfortunately, it's an eco round, so you might unfortunately have to give up a lot of that space away, which will then allow NRG to maybe cycle up, maybe not use this ult moving into the next round, and they have double ults to work with to close out the map.
Wow, they face C quite fast here. And that orb grab goes to Brock, and they can just steal guard in this entire area. It's going to be tough to be in it.
Playing an eco at this time anyway, so you're playing a long game for NRG, so walk in contact.
Okay. Okeanos gets a trade that's going to be worth, especially when you're on the low buy. Unfortunately, no pickup on that weapon will come through, as it will be protected here as Scuba is going hunting a bit through Waterfall on this.
I mean, this is the best display of an anti-eco for NRG.
Yeah.
Everybody's farming kills, getting pips up. Ethan already got the plant, going into an orb in the next round, gets him an ult. So Mata's just kind of pushing forward as well and getting his own picks, and you potentially move into round number 20, 21, if Leviathan's able to stay alive after their bye here. That there's so many ults to work with that they have to play against on their side. Thankfully for Leviathan, they have 3 of their own to try to counter out and balance out these ults available from NRG. And that's probably that timeout that was called by Desmo. Just to work the long game. You don't want to force buy going into this one. You're forced to play the overtime. That's 5 rounds that you need here to force that overtime.
Yeah. And it's tough because it doesn't seem like they've really found a pattern what NRG is doing, right? And they keep switching it up. The round that we think they're going back towards to hit Okeanos at A, they double it up towards B once again and go through door. There's a lot in the playbook that they are pulling out and kind of varying the rounds too to make them look different. It's got to be hard read for King right now. See if he can do it though. Come in with quite a few ultimates, that lockdown to really start to put pressure on a retake. Maybe they give a little bit of space just so they can take it with more surety.
King doesn't even want to force out an early pit. Well, I was going to say that. And finally does so as he hears lots of utils coming through. That's the full counter against that pit. Scuba dying on the A side is huge, though.
Almost. Diving down into that's going to be a tough one, but they still try it. Brock does get the kill onto King, and they're going to be able to breathe easy now with that pit down. But these 3 members from LEV need to make their mark. Each of them full health, each of them kitted up from Leviathan here. And now the health is down.
One enemy remaining.
Waiting to get unmarked. NRG still going to be able to make the shots. It's not going to matter. Okeanos the last to fall there, and NRG find themselves with a win 13-7 on Lotus.
That's crazy, because you're going into the retake with still ults available here for the side of Leviathan, but NRG is just able to step up, keep their feet in the sand, and make sure here that they cross that finish line on their attack side.